Good morning, children. Welcome to the class. This is class 7, subject social science, chapter number 2, history. The name of the chapter is New Kings and Kingdoms. This is our lecture 2 of this chapter. As in lecture 1, we have already covered some of the topics like how did the new kingdoms they came in exist, and the administration of those new kingdoms, what type of titles they were using. As we have done, one of the title Maharaja Dhiraj they were using, and then we have done how those new kingdoms, earlier they were Samantas, then they became powerful and they started using the word Mahasamantas. So in this way they came in exist. They became independent from their kings and they made the new kingdoms. There we talked about Gurjar Pratiharas, Rashtrakutas, Palas, Cholas in the south part of India. Now in this lecture we will be covering the topics main use of resources in the kingdoms. How were they using their resources? Second, prasastis and grants of land. The third topic that we will cover, warfare for wealth. So let's start with the topics. First one, main uses of resources in the kingdom. If you remember, in previous lecture we talked about the taxes that they were getting from the people. Two main taxes there we discussed. One was veti, that was in the form of forced labor, and the second was kadimai, that was the land revenue. So these two main taxes we talked about. Then how the whatever they were getting as tax or rent from the people, how they were utilizing those resources. First of all, first thing, finance establishment means how the according to the finance need they were using them at the different places. Second one is construct temples, as they show their wealth by constructing temples. So that resources they were using on construction of the different temples also by showing their wealth, for showing their wealth. The third one, fight wars. Different wars were fought among those new kingdoms. So the resources, they also use the resources for fighting wars. The next one is prasasti. If you remember in 6th class also you have done prasasti. Prasasti, that is Sanskrit word, its meaning is in praise of. That was done there in 6th standard also. Prasastis were composed by learned Brahmins in praise of the rulers. The Brahmins, the learned Brahmins or scholars, those were there in their courts, they were praising their rulers. So that praise, they write something in praise of those rulers, that was known as prasasti. It was used to depict the rulers as valiant and victorious warrior. Depict means to show, means it was used to show the ruler as valiant. Valiant means full of courage. Victorious warrior means the ruler that was having different victories. So it was used to depict the rulers as valiant and victorious warriors. One of the example of prasasti was long Sanskrit poem containing the history of king ruled over Kashmir. Here in your book, one example of prasasti it is given, that was the long Sanskrit poem containing the history of the king ruled over Kashmir. It was composed by Kalhan, means the writer of that particular Sanskrit poem was Kalhan. The next is grants of land. If you remember that we have done in previous class also, the grants of land were given to the Samantas. They were providing the troops to the kings. So here also the grants of land that was provided the reward to the Brahmins, those who were writing prasastis in praise of rulers. So kings rewarded Brahmins by grants of land who wrote their prasastis. So they, and one more thing, the records of those rulers, the records of those all prasastis or whatever the grants of land, they kept the record of those rewards on copper plates. Means whatever to whom they were giving the grants of land, the records of all those things they were keeping there on copper plates, and that copper plates were given to the people, to the Brahmins who received land. So, and those records basically on copper plate, they were written partly in Sanskrit and partly in Tamil. Means both the languages were used there in those records. Here, the grants of land, they were given by the rulers to Brahmins. Those who were writing prasastis in praise of those rulers. And they kept the records of these rewards on copper plates, and the rewards, that was the written material on those copper plates, that was written in Sanskrit and partly in Tamil. Now I want to show you the picture of those copper plates. This is the picture. Here how these plates, the rings holding the plates together, and these plates were having royal seals. Seals also we had done. Seals means stamp. Royal stamp with design on one side. That was seal. So here the ring holding, one ring is there that was holding the plates together, and these plates were having royal seals. On these plates royal stamp was also available. So these were the copper plates. Those were provided to the Brahmins, those were writing in praise of the rulers. The next is warfare for wealth. Warfare, that is regarding the wars for wealth. During this period of time, rulers tried to demonstrate their power by building large temples. Means the rulers of this period, they were showing their wealth by building the large temples. That was one of the way for showing their wealth. Whenever any king attacked one another's kingdom, they targeted the temples, because they really wanted to take the different wealth from those temples. Means on the purpose for looting those temples, they were attacking on each other's kingdom. The next is one of the best example of ruler who targeted temples is Sultan Mahmud of Ghazni from Afghanistan. Here Sultan word, this is Arab word that is used for ruler. So the best example who targeted the temples, that was Sultan Mahmud of Ghazni from Afghanistan. He attacked on subcontinent many times, every year, just for the taking wealth from the subcontinent's temples. So this is the best example for targeting temples. The next one is Mahmud of Ghazni raided here almost every year. His targets were wealthy temples. So he was having the targets, the wealthy temples of India or Indian subcontinent, and the best that was including Somnath temple of Gujarat. He looted Somnath temple of Gujarat. He ruled from 997 to 1030 and had control over parts of Central Asia, Iran, northwestern parts of subcontinents. Means he was ruling there from 997 to 1030 and had control over the Central Asia, northwestern part of subcontinent. So he was powerful king and powerful ruler, and he asked one of the scholar, Arab scholar, The name of that scholar was Al-Biruni. He asked him to write about the different rates of subcontinent. Means about subcontinent, he asked that scholar to write about. The name of the scholar was Al-Biruni. He was Arab scholar. This Arabic work, writing work, that was known as the Kitabul Hind, because he wrote about there of the subcontinent. So Al-Biruni was Arab scholar who wrote about subcontinent. This Arab work known as Kitabul Hind. Some other examples of war between these kingdoms. Rulers of Gurjar Pratihara, Rashtrakuta and Pala dynasty to control over Kannauj. They fought many wars because the Kannauj was center of prosperity. It was located there in valley, Ganga valley. So that's why they all wanted to control Kannauj. So that ruler, because the all three kingdoms, they wanted to control over Kannauj. So it was known as tripartite struggle also. Means all three parties, they wanted to control there. The second example, Chahamanas or Chauhans were also involved in warfare. Chahamanas, that the another name it used, Chauhans. They were ruling there in Delhi and Ajmer. So they were also involved in warfare. They were also involved in different wars. The best known ruler was Prithviraj III. He defeated Afghan ruler Sultan Muhammad Ghori in 1191. He defeated him in 1191, but unfortunately the very next year in 1192 he was being defeated by Muhammad Ghori. So these are some of the examples of different war that were fought among these different kingdoms. Now the homework turn, as we have discussed there in this lecture, the different rulers, the warfare, the wealth of those rulers. So here now the turn is there for homework. Do the following questions. Name the titles adopted by new kings. As we discussed about the titles in previous lecture and this lecture also. So here you have to write the name of the titles adopted by new kings. Second, who were the parties involved in tripartite struggle? As we discussed about tripartite struggle, in which three parties or three kingdoms were involved, and they were fighting, they were involved in the wars for Kannauj, as Kannauj was the center of prosperity. What did the new dynasties do to gain acceptance? Means what type of things were the dynasties were doing to gain acceptance. So these three questions you will attempt in your fair register. Now is the turn for homework solution of lecture number 1. The first question that was assigned, match the following. As yesterday I had shown you the map of different new kingdoms. So here you will match these kingdoms with the place where they were located. Gurjar Pratihara, Rashtrakutas, Palas, Cholas. Western Deccan, Bengal, Gujarat and Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu. Number 1, Gurjar Pratihara. It was this particular kingdom, it was located there in Gujarat and Rajasthan part. Rashtrakuta, Western Deccan, means western part of Deccan Plateau. Palas, Bengal, it was located. Cholas, Tamil Nadu, in southern part of India. So this is the correct matching. The second question, what were the two major cities under the control of Chahamanas? Yesterday also we discussed, and in today's lecture, Chahamanas were also known as Chauhans. Those were there in north part. And the two major cities under the control of Chahamanas were Delhi and Ajmer. The third question, how did Rashtrakutas become powerful? Means the journey, how did Rashtrakutas become powerful? The journey of Rashtrakutas for becoming powerful. Rashtrakutas became powerful as 7th century kings declared the big landlord as their samantas. The first step. In 7th century, kings declared big landlords as their samantas. Then what happened after then? The samantas expected to bring gifts and provide military support to their kings. Means the job that was done by those samantas. Then after some time, what happened? They became powerful and declared themselves to be Mahasamantas. As they became powerful, they declared themselves to be Mahasamantas. Rashtrakutas were also one of them. So Rashtrakutas were one of them who were subordinate of the Chalukyas. Means they were under Chalukyas. But from them, then they became independent. Rashtrakutas, one of them who were subordinates or Samantas of Chalukyas. And Danti Durga, the Rashtrakutas chief, performed Hiranyagarbha and overthrew the Chalukyas. Hiranyagarbha, one of the ritual that was performed by Danti Durga to prove for giving proof that he was Kshatriya. That was one of the ritual that if anyone performed that ritual, if anyone even that person is not Kshatriya from birth, after this ritual, that would be the Kshatriya one. So Danti Durga, Rashtrakutas chief, performed Hiranyagarbha and overthrew the Chalukyas and made the new kingdom, Rashtrakutas. So thank you. I hope you have understood these topics. Have a nice day.